Welcome back to another video. It's me, Cynthia, and in today's video, we're going to talk about whether or not to homeschool during times of uncertainty. And I listed out the pros and cons, and I'm going to go through the pros first and then the cons, and let's get started. Number one, you no longer need to worry about bullying, mass school shootings, poor quality education, or decent nutrition at the school because you will be control of all of that. How does that sound for all those type A people who like to do that? I'm sure that sounds great, to be in control of what your kid is going to be doing, their environment, what they eat, things like that. That's wonderful. Number two, you can pick up and go whenever and wherever you need to be. So if you need to leave the state, if you need to leave the school district, the county, however you look at it, if you need to suddenly leave, you can do that, and it's not going to be a problem because you're homeschooling. What you have to do is make sure that you know what the laws are for the state you're moving to, or the district that you're moving into, or the county that you're moving into ahead of time, so that you can avoid any headache with paperwork, letters of intent that you have to write, blase blah, stuff like that. Number three, it gives you a sense of security in knowing your child is safe. I know that works for me for sure. I know that when my child is safe, I feel secure and I feel happy. And I'm pretty sure that that's the same with any parent. Number four, you can have the opportunity to build an even closer bond to your child and instill the family core values in them. I have a video that I'll link up here about family core values that is really important. I believe that it's important to have family core values because, especially when your child is little, you instill those core values in them and you talk about it as they get older and you develop it even further so that they don't stray away from it and they don't have a bond with you. You want them to have a bond with you. So if you instill these family core values, they will have that bond with you. And I'll talk about that in this video right here. Make sure you watch it. Now we're going to lead into the cons of why you should not homeschool during times of uncertainty. Number one, finances in your household may require some adjusting. That is true. Whether you are a single family household or you are a two-parent household, you will still have to adjust your finances in some sort of way. Shifting your work schedule to accommodate time for homeschooling as well. So if you normally work the night shift or the day shift or the afternoon shift, or you work a 9 to 5, 7 to 3, 8 to 4, whatever it is, or if you work from home, however your work schedule fits, you're going to have to adjust it accordingly to how it's going to work. Unless you are going to be solely homeschooling your children while the other parent is working, then that can work as well. So there's lots of different ways of looking at it, and just figure it out for what works for your family. Number two, it requires dedication. You may need to make some sacrifices of what you currently do with your time so you can have time to homeschool. And this kind of ties in with number one, but it's very true that we don't realize how much time homeschooling actually takes, because it's not necessarily just putting books in front of your child or throwing them in front of a screen for a couple of hours and then you're like, okay, you're done with school for today. You kind of want to check in with your kid. I suggest, checking in with them to see how they're learning, if they need some help with something, you're going to need to help them with things, teach them something new. If you're entering algebra, you're going to have to teach them some things about algebra ahead of time, unless there's something that you have that I just don't know about, and that's great if you do. Share it in the comment section if you have a method that works for that type of thing. Number three, you may not be prepared for the mental shift if you jump right in without prepping first. I have a playlist that I'll link up here that talks about all homeschooling things that you need to know before you even get started with homeschooling. Make sure you check that out. Number four, you might need to learn patience. Patience, patience, patience. There's going to be days when you don't feel like teaching. There's going to be days when the kids don't feel like learning. There's going to be days when you just have a headache and you don't know if you can do this anymore. It's more than just the headache. It's deeper than that. We all know it's always deeper than just the headache. It always is. Things stem from it, and things like that. So make sure you're aware of the amount of patience that it does require for homeschooling, because there's going to be a learning curve for not only you as a parent, but as the child progresses and learns being taken out of public school or out of private school, and they're now being homeschooled. There's a learning curve that goes with that, and I'll talk about that in another video for you to check out. And lastly, check out all of my homeschooling videos so that you can learn more about homeschooling before you even start homeschooling. And without further ado, that ends this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.